Welcome to Chi-Town Cigar Podcast, a podcast where everyday Chicago guys light up a fine cigar and get into everything from sports to hobbies, life's little moments, and everything in between. Whether you're here for the cigars or just some good laughs, we got you covered. So, grab your favorite smoke and join us for laid-back chats with a Chicago twist. Now it's time to put some smoke in the air.
Hey, Marty. How you doing, buddy?
Mike, boy, we're really turning up the production value here.
We are. We're getting a pre-recorded intro now. We got some fancy openings and stuff like that. So, yeah, we're getting crazy now. Watch out.
Is that an AI voice?
It is an AI voice. Yeah.
It sounds pretty good. Like AI voice really has come a long way.
It's scary. It's really, eventually we're going to have AI just do our podcast and we won't have to do it. Just collect the benefits.
That's scary.
Yeah. Yes, it is. So hello to everybody on X. We're live on X, hopefully. So we tried YouTube. We ran into some difficulties, so we'll get that worked out here over the next week. But we're up to what, 60 people now on YouTube?
Yeah, 60 subscribers, so we can go live if we can figure out technically how to make it work.
Folks, we're not the most technical people around, so you're just hang in there with us. We'll eventually get to it.
I'm actually pretty technical, and I can't figure it out. So it's whatever's going on is not easy. But we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. We've got our email address posted up there underneath Marty. You guys can see that. We'll run that a couple times throughout the show. So if you have any comments or suggestions that are worthwhile, email us over at chitowncigar@gmail.com. We'll run that on the screen here a few times and see what you got to say. One of our loyal listeners once again sent me an email or sent me a message to remind me of how to pronounce another word. So that's my weekly thing
word?
now. Hold on a second. I will tell you what word he told me I mispronounced last week. So it's always nice. Ligero.
Ligero?
Yeah.
Ligero.
There you go. Ligero. It's like yes. I told him, I'm white. I'm anglicizing it. There's nothing I can do about it. So, if you're coming here looking for the Spanish speaker, you're on the wrong podcast. So, but we've got a lot to talk about this week. We
do. I think we've got a full show.
Mm-hmm. And that doesn't even include what did they say? So it sort of does, I guess, in a way, but we'll get to it as we go through. Should we talk about March Madness right off the bat? You want to get into March Madness?
Sure. I think there's games going on right now. There are
some games going on. Yeah. So
they don't really count for anyone's brackets, but
no, they're called the play-in games or something. So that's
first four.
Yeah. So the Auburn opponent, the Duke opponent. Oh man, what did I just do? Auburn opponent, the Duke opponent. Who else is in there?
The Illinois opponent.
Looking for. Is Illinois? Yeah. Illinois and
opponent,
yeah. So, I don't know. I haven't looked at it. I'll look at it tomorrow once everything gets set, and I'll make my bracket picks. Michigan State definitely had a tough one over the weekend against Wisconsin. So, it's we'll see. I don't know. I was telling the wife, I'm sort of glad they lost. I think you go in and you're the champ, you're the divisional champion. You're sort of riding a high that you don't want to ride. I think but at the same point, you could be riding a high that go, okay, hey, we just became divisional champs. We know nothing's stopping us right now.
But you went all the way to the last game and then lost. So you played 3 games.
Yeah. So
they should have just lost the second game. Then they could have had another extra day of rest.
Yes. That's why you and I are not basketball coaches or college basketball coaches.
Well, the Illini, they were going to have to play 4 games if they made it to the championship of the Big Ten, but they lost in the second game. They scored like 100 points in the first game, so they like
played phenomenal.
They're like a schizophrenic team. You never know what you're going to get. They could go to the Final Four if they start hitting their threes, or they could get bombed out by the...
Yeah, who was I watching? What game was I watching this past weekend? Was it the Wisconsin? Or no, the Tennessee-Florida game. And Tennessee was living by the 3-point shot and missing them. And it's like, guys, if you're missing them that frequently, figure out something else. But don't get caught up in the 3-point game and put yourself in a hole. That's what they did. They put themselves in a hole they could never get out of. So
playing with fire.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it'll be interesting. And now we have, for all of those of you listening on X that want to join us, the Chi-Town crew, our group of guys, we're herfing this Saturday. So it's gonna be a good herf to be able to sit there and enjoy some basketball and cigars and some good conversation back and forth. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So
we're at the Humidor of Lisle.
The Humidor, yes, the Humidor of Lisle. So
that's off of Ogden Avenue there in Lisle.
Mm-hmm.
So come on out. We'd love to see you.
Yeah, come on out. Say hello. Join us. We'll get you into the Chi-Town crew. It's a great group of guys. We all met through cigar smoking, so none of us are friends, I should say, prior to this. We just sort of found each other, and then we started this crazy group of guys that a couple years ago we traveled to Colorado for the Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest, which was, I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in my life as I did those 4 days.
That was a fun trip.
Yeah. So,
we
come on out to
good laughs. And what time does it start? Is it 2 usually, right?
2 usually, which none of us pay attention to that. We're out there by 1:00.
Yeah.
The wife asked me, she was, what time are you leaving? I go, I don't know yet. I haven't figured that one out yet. And I'll probably jet out about 12:30 or so and be up there. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. And it's good to have some basketball on for some background and chatting it up. So yeah, I'm excited. I like March Madness. I was never a March Madness guy through high school and really through college, but then all of a sudden once I got out, I was like, okay, it's sort of a bum rush of sports for quite a few days, and then you go into the lull and just sort of relax, and then baseball season starts.
Baseball season has already started. The Cubs already lost their first game.
Was it opening day?
Yeah.
Was it opening day already?
Yeah, because they played that early game in Japan. They played the Dodgers in Japan. Yeah.
All right. So it's an opening day, but a faux opening day. It's not a real opening day.
No.
I mean, it is, but,
Unless you're in Japan, it's not really.
Yes. So, good. The train's coming by. So I guess we should also talk about what we're both smoking, because that's the next part of our show. Go ahead. Why don't you introduce this section or this part?
Yeah. So Mike and I both got the Drew Estate Freestyle Live. So you can see they have the only thing they are telling you is that it's a Dominican cigar. They got 4 cigars and a cool little kit. Like I've got the kit here that comes in. Very nice, like a tackle box kind of thing with an extra little shelf there.
Yeah.
4 cigars. Got like a big 60 ring gauge monster.
That's the
Toro,
Gordo.
and
The
Gordo size, the Toro size, the Rusto size, and I don't know what this little thing is.
It is, and get ready because I'm going to butcher another one. The Pequeña. The Pequeña.
All right.
Yeah. We'll see if that's right. If not, I'll get a text here tomorrow morning telling me I butchered another one.
It comes with a nice little 69% Boveda
Mm-hmm.
and a cool little lighter that I haven't
The
filled up
Paleo
yet.
Pro. It's not to be confused with the one I have. This is branded.
Right?
Bob the Cigar Guy in Chief. Branded.
And a Drew
Lighter.
Estate dog tag
Yes.
in case you get caught
Something every grandkid
behind
should have.
enemy lines without a cigar.
Yes. Yes. Like I said, it's something every grandkid should have. You can hand that to your grandson in a couple years and have your daughter or your son or somebody screaming and hollering, "What are you doing promoting cigar smoking to my kids?" So,
Right. All the little trinkets.
well, yeah.
But that's a nice box. The box is a nice sealed humidor box. You could probably
Yeah.
take the shelf out if you didn't want it. Hold more cigars.
What the heck happened?
What happened?
We're playing our intro again somehow. I'm not really sure how. I don't see it playing. Can you hear it?
No, I don't hear it at all. Weird.
I don't know. Maybe I hit something on my headphones and it started playing in my ear. I don't know. But yeah, it's a great little packet they put together. And this cigar has got this sweetened tip. And boy, can you taste it. Boy, can you taste it.
Yeah. Yeah. I can feel it on my lips.
Yeah. Now they were saying with this cigar, people are believing this is going to be part of the Deadwood series.
Because
which would make sense.
They have the sweetened tips.
Yeah. So it makes sense.
The acids do as well. I guess it could be in the acid line.
Yeah, but I would find it hard to believe that Drew Estate would do a Freestyle Live with an acid cigar at this point.
Yeah.
Am I wrong? I mean, I just...
No. But also, a lot of the Deadwood series, they come in kind of unique sizes. Like, they usually only come in one size per cigar. Like, the Sweet Janes are a certain size.
True.
And then I forget what the name of the other one is. It's like a long pyramid-shaped cigar.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, maybe this is their way of breaking out of that and doing... I don't know. You know, at the same point, put out 4 sizes and see which one sells best. And then when you go to reduce SKUs in a year or two, you say, hey, we're knocking these 3 out of the park and we're going to keep running it with this one. So,
or maybe it's a whole new line.
It could be. If it's from the DR, which was their big ground shaking release that we talked about a couple weeks ago, they're doing more of a DR based cigars. So it could be a whole new line that they're just I think what we're saying, we're Dominicana. Jonathan Drew is wearing a Dominicana shirt, so maybe they're going to try to go in some sort of a line, like you said, a whole new line in that regard. So
right. So when is the actual Freestyle Live event where they announce what it is? It's like in April?
I think April. Yeah, I think that's why. Yeah, I think the April 2025 that's on here. And we'll see. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, April 2025. I think that's probably the indication of when the next Freestyle Live will be, that they'll announce this cigar. And yeah.
And if you get the kit, they usually do a bunch of giveaways. Yeah.
Yep. The mystery will be revealed April of 2025. As you can see that backwards. So I guess we should talk about the other issue of Drew Estates this week, or last week, I guess is what it really was. Did you hear about all this?
I saw that.
Yes.
I saw that he had to come on and do a video. And
they
seemed very contrite.
Yeah, the Barn Smoker and the family reunion tickets went on sale. I think it was Friday night. And Eventbrite was the hosting site for tickets. And typical, hey, we want a ticket, and you've got, 50,000 people that want 400 tickets. The site crashed. So then they were able to get the site up, but then there was some people alleging that the VIP ticket was listed for $150, and they put it in their cart. And when they went to check out, it was $450 or something like that.
Right.
But at the same point, you knew that was BS. You knew that was BS.
Does cost more than $150.
Yes. So, and then some people were mad because they only could get one Saturday ticket and they needed 4, because the system wouldn't, they were sold out. I mean, they sold out fast. I think it was like 8 or 9 minutes.
Right.
And then, so the VIP ticket sold out fast for Saturday. The general admission ticket sold out fast for Saturday. And then the VIP tickets for Friday sold out. And I thought as of Saturday, there were some general admission tickets left for Friday. But then Jonathan Drew comes on and says, we didn't realize that people didn't want to do a Friday. They wanted to do a Sunday. So now they're in the process of, can they switch it and get it from Friday to Sunday? So I don't know. I tried. I was curious. I wanted to go to the Kentucky reunion. I was not quick enough, So, it's the same thing. There was a video I watched today from Bob the Cigar Guy. It's like buying tickets to some concert. God forbid the name that we will not say, but you want tickets to her concert, and if you're not quick enough on the draw and you don't get them, what are you're going to whine and cry to her because I wanted tickets to your concert and I didn't get them and the site crashed, and it's technology,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. A lot of people planning group trips from all over the country.
Yes.
It's hard to coordinate everyone buying their tickets, and then somebody not fast enough doesn't get to go. I can see where they're a little upset, but it's really,
yeah.
I mean, it kind of goes to show how popular Drew Estate is and how good those events are. And they always have great swag, and everyone has a great time. So.
Oh, that was the other thing people were bitching about. Well, you didn't tell us what the swag is. Well,
It's always good.
Yeah.
Is that going to change your choice on whether you go or not?
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I give Jonathan Drew a lot of credit for getting ahead of it, and from Macau doing a video saying, hey, we're aware of this. We're going to investigate it. We're going to make sure it doesn't happen in the future. We don't know what happened. And like I said, they're going to look at switching some dates around, and I don't know. I don't have time to tolerate or have interest in tolerating somebody that's going to whine and complain because I wanted tickets and I didn't get them. Okay. I wanted tickets too, but I didn't get them. So,
right.
But yeah, I mean, it's always, I think what they're going to learn is that they can't just do 2 barn smokers. They can't do a barn smoker and a family reunion. I think they're going to learn we got to stick to 3. And it's a lot of work. I'm not saying it's easy by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they're going to learn that if you're going to do them, you need to do 3 of them. And that way it sort of spreads the wealth out, so.
Yeah, there's quite a demand. So.
Yeah. Yep.
They then either need to get bigger venues, which I'm sure that's hard to do with all the parking and stuff if you're out at a tobacco field barn, and you're really limited.
I mean, I think like anything, people they've gotta roll with the punches and go, you know what? Okay, I didn't get a ticket for it. Okay, so be it. Hey, that sucks that my 3 buddies are going and I didn't get a ticket to it, but so be it. You didn't get a ticket to it. It's right. You should have known that going into it. Hey, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee any of us are going to get tickets. There's no guarantee that every one of us is going to get tickets. So if you do, you do. And if you don't, you don't. I know we did that with the Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest. It was, we all jumped on and bought them, but at the same point, it was like, I hope everybody gets tickets. So.
Yeah. Although if I'd go to that again, I don't think I would actually go to the Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest part. I'd just go to the parties before and after.
Yeah, and I mean, I was reading some stuff even about the barn smokers, and they're like, you can't buy cigars. Their cigars are on display, or they're, but and I think that's the way to go. I'd rather do something like that. I would not. No offense to Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest, I'm not bashing you. It's not an event I would go to again. I would rather be in Colorado and do some of the other stuff. I had a great time going to visit the 2 different cigar lounges we got a chance to visit. I had a great time hanging out with people, but the fest was jam packed. It was jam packed, and it was hot.
Yeah,
there was no shade. Yeah,
yeah. We didn't get the VIP there, so yeah, we didn't get the shaded tent or any of that stuff. So, and then the bus broke down, taking us to the parking lot, where there was no bus. Right at the end of the show. Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of fest, there was a fest this past weekend that I know you and I didn't attend. I think we both watched some of it virtually. But the Great Smoke went on, and supposedly the reviews were off the chain. They were phenomenal. So what did you think?
Looked like everyone had a great time. They had a bunch of technical difficulties, like at least twice. Their stream stopped, and it took them a while to figure out what was going on.
Yeah.
But by the middle of the show, they got it right, and I got to watch a little bit of it. I got to see the Steve Saka interview.
I missed that one.
They interviewed Martin Cove.
Yes.
The guy from the Karate Kid.
Yep.
Cobra Kai show, which I thought that was pretty interesting. He was.
What did he have to say?
To talk to.
What do you remember?
He was, he's got a new cigar line that he's coming out with, and he's doing like a graphic novel, and that's going to be made into a series, I think.
Really?
Yeah. So, one of the most interesting thing I think he was saying was like when he gets into character, like the character affects his personal life. Like
really,
when he's not even playing the character, like he said, playing John Kreese in the Cobra Kai series, like affected his personal relationships because he started acting. He has a hard time unplugging once he's in that mode.
Wow. Huh. I did see the Michael Knowles interview, and I thought that was a good interview. It's interesting to hear how he got started. I liked his little anecdote of because what's his name? Ferriotego. Michael Herklotz basically said to him, "Celebrity cigars don't work. They infamously fail." Guy Fieri, I think, is the anomaly to that. But Michael Herklotz said, "Well, mine's doing well, so that must mean I'm not a celebrity. I'm not that well known." So, but it was interesting to hear how he sort of got into cigars and sort of worked the system a little bit. I mean, he did a paper and submitted it for one of his classes in college, and then he started up. I forget what it's an acronym. The cigar is the acronym, but he basically got the school to pay for him to smoke cigars because they didn't realize it was cigar was the acronym, but it was, so it was pretty cool in that regard. And then hearing him talk about, just his desire and what he learned from his family with smoking cigars. So I thoroughly enjoy that. That's the kind of stuff I enjoy. I mean, I always enjoy listening to Steve Saka, but yeah, I got annoyed with a couple of the technical difficulties, and so I walked away from the TV, and I came back just in time to see the Knowles interview. And then by then I was like, okay, there's some other stuff that I can get done. It's, it was from everything I read, it was a great show and a great event, but
Yep. It'd be fun to go back again. I went the year before and had a good time.
The worst part about it, because I did a lot of research on it for this year, and the worst part, and this has nothing to do with Abe and the event itself, but is the hotel situation. Because you're paying premium dollars because you're in Boynton Beach, so you're paying premium dollars to put your head on a pillow and a mattress for 8 hours, and then you're out. I mean, because from everything I've talked to people and everything I've seen, people are out of their hotel rooms by 8:00 in the morning and are sitting at Smoke Inn on Friday. They sit there, they sit all day, they go have dinner somewhere, they come back, or I shouldn't say they go have dinner, they go to Rocky Mountain, the RML dinner, then they come back, they sit there and smoke for a couple more hours, they leave, go home, sleep, or go back to their hotel, sleep, and get up, and they're at the event. So it's like, not that I'm cheap, but holy crud, paying $250 to lay my head down on a pillow. And I could have got a ticket for the Great Smoke. I couldn't find a hotel room. All the hotel rooms were booked up. So the further south I started going, the higher the prices were.
Right.
So,
yeah, it's pretty close to spring break there. So
yes,
you're in the high season of hotel
but
prices.
Next year we might have to look at next year, because next year's the 20th anniversary. So it'll be interesting. I might have to figure it out and see if there's a way to, if there's enough of us going, go find a house to rent, a VRBO to rent, and do that and say, hey,
they're doing Under the Big Top theme, which they
I've
still
heard
are.
that from before. They did. They did still. Yes, they did. So
that was good.
Yeah.
And then, what day was it? Saturday afternoon, before before the Rocky Mountain Cigar. It was before the Rocky Mountain Cigar Fest, right?
Yes. Yeah. It was 11 o'clock our time, 12 o'clock North Carolina or South Carolina time. So
we were both watching the Bob the Cigar Guy. I don't know. Does he call the Saturday one with his wife something different?
Yes. It's the second Saturday with the First Lady is the name of the show. And Bob's wife, Sarah, in, what are we in now, March? In January, I guess in December, said, hey, I want to do a show to help promote the line. And Marty and I, for those of you listening or watching, have been watching Bob. I've been watching Bob for a while now, but I think you just started probably 6 months ago, maybe longer. Whenever his wife would come on to the show, it was like a free for all, because she would start grabbing stuff and giving stuff away, saying, hey, can we give away this cutter? And he'd be like, no. Yeah, we're giving away this cutter. And all of a sudden, she'd say, okay, and she'd end up giving a cutter away, and Bob and Chief would get pretty deranged. So I guess in December she said, hey, I want to start my own show to promote the brand and the channel. And so they said, well, what's your idea? And so she came up with some idea, but then her kicker was, I'm going to give away stuff for free. So the first one in January was an unbelievable Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust giveaway. They gave away one of those ashtrays, the leaf ashtrays. It's not crystal. What is it made out of?
The soapstone leaf carved ashtray. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the first one, And then the second one was Villiger, and they gave that away. And then this one, it was a show about tobaccos around the world. And they sort of talked about tobaccos and cigars from around the world. And of course, they focused on Cuba. So they had a Cuban 5-pack that they picked up while on a cruise. So Bob's like, I can guarantee 100% this is legitimate Cohiba Cuban cigars. And then they had a bunch of other single cigars. They had some swag that Bob had made from coins and stuff like that. They had a Dunbarton hat and a Dunbarton mug. They had a Bob the Cigar Guy travel humidor, which I actually have. I have it around here somewhere. A paleo lighter, sort of like, I don't have that. A horse.
Like a pewter horse or something.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Yes.
that part was funny because that was her horse. So he got tired of her giving away all his stuff. He said we're going to give away this horse.
Yes. So I don't think I missed anything.
You got a gold flying pig too.
Yes, and a collector's item, gold flying pig. And so to be eligible for this giveaway, and we're pushing people to this, definitely the second Saturday of every month, although this next in April will be the third because they're going to be at PCA. But to participate in this raffle, you just got to participate in the show. You just got to talk to them and send their, talk in their comments on their YouTube channel, and they'll mention it. And towards the end of the show, they'll read off the 30 or so names of people that have commented. And then
your odds are actually pretty good. 1 in 30 odds of winning a nice prize every time they do this.
Yeah.
So who won this time?
I was shocked. Yours truly won the prize. I was shocked. I was stunned. I was dismayed. I was beside myself.
Why dismayed?
I don't know. I'm just throwing words out there. But, the worst thing about it is, and I'm sure you go through it too, and I'm sure there's other guys that go through this too, is when you win something, you've got to run to your wife and say, hey, I didn't order anything. I won this. And so I'm basically going through and I'm like, hey, just so you know, I didn't order Cuban cigars. And she's like, what are you talking about? And so I went through the whole thing. She's like, are you kidding me? I said, no. So I'm like, oh, man. Yes. So he actually messaged me.
You have video evidence that you won. So you can show her.
I do. But he messaged me yesterday and confirmed my address and everything like that. And he said it's on its way. So we will do a Cuban cigar review. I told Marty it's definitely something. I will get him one of these Cubans out of this package. And we will do a Cuban. I've never smoked a Cuban before. Have you smoked a Cuban before?
I have. I got some when I was in Europe the last summer.
Okay. Oh,
but not a Cohiba. Those are the expensive ones.
Yeah. I was shocked. I'm like, okay. I figured when he was saying Cubans, I thought, okay, well, they'll throw 1 or 2 into the pack of cigars, and it's like, no, a whole. And when we say a box, it's a box probably much like this size, right?
Like
maybe
a
little. I
mean, they sell them in little 5-pack boxes.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so that was. I know I probably made somebody mad.
That's awesome. But definitely go on Bob the Cigar Guy on the Saturdays that they're doing the giveaways and
and at the same point too. Yep. And we can't recommend them enough. I mean, we're not modeling our podcast after their podcast by any way, shape, or form, but it is very similar. When we're on YouTube, hopefully we'll even have more audience participation. We'll get that figured out. But there are Thursday nights at 7:15 Chicago time, 8:15 East Coast time. Is a fun podcast. It is a fun, interactive podcast, and we go in some pretty wacky directions at times. and other times it's like a herf. We've hit 30 now the last 5 weeks, I think. So it's 30 guys that are chiming in on the comments about different things or poking fun at each other and stuff like that. So
it's a lot of the same guys you see on the other, like Smoke Night Live and stuff like that. So I see a lot of the same names.
And there's definitely some loyal listeners to the Bob the Cigar Guy channel that only really follow him, and I can understand that. It gets overwhelming at times to keep track of how many podcasts you're listening to and stuff. So there was no Smoke Night Live this week. They were at the Great Smoke.
Right. Yeah. So I had my Friday night all to myself. I don't even know what I did with it.
You lost yourself. It was like, holy cow, what do I do now?
I had at least one cigar, and I think I've been going back and watching the HBO series that they have with the innies and the outies. Do you watch any HBO?
No, I do, but what is that all about?
It's a series by Ben Stiller. Who, of course, the name is escaping me.
Okay,
but it's Severance is the name of the series.
Okay.
These people can go. Basically, you can have a procedure done where you get a thing put in your head, and when you go to work, you're a different person, and when you leave, you don't remember anything about you. It's like you're like two separate personalities, and it's actually a really good show. They're in their second season now, so I've been trying to go back and rewatch the first season because it's kind of out there.
Yeah, I just finished watching an old series, and I don't know if this is good, bad, or whatever. But did you ever watch the show Leverage?
I think I've seen it
with Timothy Hutton and I can't think of Devlin's last name or first name, but it's sort of like a Ocean's 11 type of series, where what you think is going to happen doesn't end up happening. They've always got some little twist in this. So
right.
I blew through 5 seasons of that in about 4.5 weeks. So
wow.
Yeah, I know.
Dedication.
It's like it's wintertime, right? So we sit there and it's like light up a cigar and you watch 2 or 3 episodes and you're like, okay, that was good. And then, that's what I found myself doing on weekends, really, because football season's over. So it's like, all right, well, I'll sit here and watch
now
this.
What I was doing Friday. We had like the huge storms roll through.
Yes.
And like right around midnight, we had tornado sirens going off. Yeah.
Did you really?
Warnings. Yeah.
My daughter's down in the St. Louis area, and
they had it pretty bad. We didn't have it very bad, but 60 mile an hour
two towns over from her. Yeah, 2 towns over from her. She showed us the devastation. I'm like, holy cow! I warned you. She's okay, meteorologist. Well, there's a grandson down there now. You got to be careful.
Right.
So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I didn't get to listen to Saturday because of the second Saturday with the First Lady, and then with the Smoke Night Live, or not Smoke Night Live, the Great Smoke. I missed the Cigar Authority, so I'll have to go back and listen to that. Friday there was no Smoke Night Live, so I didn't listen to that. Wednesday I listened to for about 10 minutes Flavor Odyssey, and I was disgusted. They were bashing the Irish like there was nobody's business.
Yeah, I heard him bash Guinness, and I was like,
yes,
that's enough of that.
Guinness and Redbreast 12. They bashed basically the host, which I'll throw his name out there, basically said that Redbreast 12 was garbage. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I like and
then Guinness.
Whiskey. Yeah.
Yeah. And to say Guinness wasn't good.
Oh yeah.
I had 2 Friday. We were out at a company event, And so afterwards, we went to the bar, and I said, "Give me a Guinness." And I thought, screw them, hell with them. So yeah, I literally turned it off. I was mad. I'm like, you're bashing my Irish heritage, and it's like, for what? I'm like, if you don't like something, don't like it. That's fine, but you don't got to bash it. And not that it's a national pot. It's not like Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan would never catch himself doing something like that. But for I don't know, what do you figure? There's probably 40 or 50 people that watch that show or listen to that show live.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So, and then Chief Talk, this past Thursday, they did some more PCA stuff. They talked about some more PCA stuff.
I watched a little bit of that. They were talking about setting up other interviews, and that sounds like a lot of work. Go schedule all those interviews. Those guys are really humping when they're down there.
Well, and I know, Teddy's not with us tonight. He's a little under the weather and stuff like that. But he keeps talking about going to PCA, and I'm like, dude, this is not a vacation. If you're going to PCA under media, you're working. You're humping and moving and yeah, and I think he has like 25 interviews slots, and they're 1 hour slots, I think. So is the show 2 days or 2.5 days?
That's a good question, and I don't know the answer. It used to be like 3 or maybe 4 days.
Okay. But still, it's like going, it must be, well, it's got to be 3 days. Because if you got 25 1 hour slots, 8 hours, so that's 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's not, okay. And granted, yes, you have an hour time slot. So you get there. Hey, we're here. We're setting up our camera equipment. We're going to be ready to go here in 10 minutes. And then you have a half-hour interview with somebody. But that's still,
just the prep to do that many interviews. Like, there's a lot of work involved there.
If we ever do it, one of us is going to be doing a lot of research the weeks prior, because these guys don't want to answer the same questions. They don't want to answer the same questions. How'd you get into cigars? What's your new brand? What's your new cigar like? It's like going, hey, they'll tell you, oh yeah, I'm releasing this one, which we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm releasing this one, but it's like, dude, I just got done telling the last 4 guys that interviewed me those questions. So you got to come up with some new shtick to talk about, or to ask. So, but speaking of PCA and new releases, you did some digging this week and found some information. You want to share that?
Yeah, the new releases are starting to get announced. So there's several companies that have announced what they're going to be releasing at the PCA show, and I have a list.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
In no
absolutely.
particular order. So Leaf by Oscar is introducing a barber pole and a broadleaf cigar. Sounds interesting.
Okay. Yes.
My father is going to release My Father Blue, which I think is a Honduran cigar. I think.
But so are we going with colors now? Is the cigar industry so oversaturated right now that we can't think of names? So you know what? Let's just go with colors.
Yeah. Because I saw McAuliffe is releasing the purple.
The purple
to their color line.
And what did Dunbarton just release?
Solita Red.
So yeah. So go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Monte Cristo is releasing the white Diadema.
Yes.
Romeo y Julieta is releasing their 150th anniversary cigar, I think.
Wow.
Black Star Line has another one called the Meadowwood MLK.
Really? I didn't see that one.
Yeah. That was just announced. Apparently Martin Luther King worked at a tobacco field before he went off to college or something. I don't know.
Huh, okay.
Aging Room has the Quattro Nica Concerto Quattro Nicaragua Concerto.
Oh, good. You're butchering it, so.
I think I did okay with that. Quattro
The Quattro
Nicaragua
Nicaragua. Yep.
Concerto.
Is it concerto? Is it concerto or is it
It
concerto?
might, yeah. Well, I might have butchered that. I don't know. Aganorsa Leaf has 25th anniversary. I think they're
Yes, they
releasing
do.
that at PCA.
Yes, they do.
Adventura has a new line called the Blackfins Parlay.
Huh. I wonder if
Yeah.
that'll be another talking box.
Maybe they have. Did the last one do a talk? I know the Barber Rojas
Yep.
did a talking box, and then the Blue Eyed
And-
Jacks did the talking box.
Yep.
Yeah, so this one might be a talking box, but they're not releasing the actual boxes there. They're going to be selling like a line pack that includes one of those. And
Okay.
They're not releasing any information about what it is. So they want people to go into it blind before they tell you.
So is that? Do you? Are they all falling in line with Drew Estates? Going,
Maybe.
hey, we're gonna pre-release this and let you guess, and cause the stir, cause the buzz. You know, because it's. I mean, Drew Estates has been doing it for how many years now? 3 or 4 years where they've done the freestyle lives.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same thing, you know. I know Abe and Aganorsa, Terrence Riley, did a blind tasting of some cigars last year that went terribly awry. They had the Socialite page on their Facebook group. They released it to them and said, "Hey, we have 100 boxes of this, and you can buy them, try them." There was a QR code to go in and rate them, and so there was 4 cigars. I think there was 4 cigars, 4 different Vitolas, and rate them 1 through 4, and then whatever was number 1, they were going to release. Hey, this is it. Whatever number 1 is, we're going to release as the Smokin' Socialite Aganorsa cigar. And when all was said and done, it was like, oh shit, we didn't come to a consensus. And I think they were, because I talked to Abe and I talked to Terrence, and they were going back, and Abe was going to do it in-house. He was going to have 3 or 4 people go, hey, we're just going to.
with that. I remember them talking about that. And so there was no consensus. Everyone liked something different.
No. I know what I liked, and I talked to some people, and a lot of people that I talked to liked what I liked, but there was also consensus for another one. So I'm thinking what happened is those 2 cigars ran neck and neck and going, if we don't have a clear winner, we don't want to release something that 48% of the people liked this one and 38% of the people liked this one.
That's the risk,
you know, so,
I guess. And when you give the people the choice, then if you choose what some people didn't choose, then maybe they're not going to buy it.
Never give people the choice. You're never going to make everybody happy. You're never going to make everybody happy.
So continuing with this list, Warped is doing a Corto Maduro. They had a previous Corto cigar, but now they're releasing the Corto Maduro. Tatuaje is doing a Fausto FT110 and FT187. Those are new Vitolas, I think. Hostani has the SBC 24, although it's 25, so they're like a year behind.
Yep.
Gurkha's doing Year of the Snake, and we already talked about the United Gold Star line last week.
Yep.
So that's all I've accumulated so far.
And then Epic is doing a Bronx Tale Sunny. I saw that. I've never tried the Bronx Tales. It's on my list of cigars I want to try, but yeah, so I'm assuming that what is his name?
Got
the
Palmieri.
Actor. Yes, I'm assuming he's going to work his way through the through the cast of a Bronx Tale and just release a cigar, which is a good way to go too. Hey,
Yeah.
if you can't come up with something unique, come up with something that's different. You
Right.
know. So I noticed in the list that you sent us or that you sent me, are you shocked at the companies that are not exhibiting at PCA this year? Is it an indication of?
I didn't even really look. Are
Well,
there a lot of companies not participating?
All Saints is not participating.
Interesting.
Who else did I notice I thought was interesting here? Hold on a second as I push my way through this list. El Titan de Bronze, which I'm surprised they had the number one cigar on a lot of people's list. So I can't believe you wouldn't go and seize the moment at PCA, and display something. Yeah, so that was another one. Who else? La Flora Dominicana is not showing. So I was and I mean, it is what it is, but I'm thinking it's PCA is the time to get sales, the time to do paper and take orders. So I'm thinking, that always, for me, it raises a flag going. Now, I'll tighten to Bronze. It's a small boutique company. It's not getting bought. Sandy's not selling to anybody. Sandy's not selling to anybody.
Manufacturing for other people, yeah.
But some of these other ones, I'm like, okay, so, yeah, I was a little bit surprised with some of them. And it's funny too, because looking at the list that you got, I'm laughing at the accessory companies that are listed and the cigar clubs that are listed.
There's a lot of them.
I'm like, luxury cigar club, and a couple of other ones. I'm like, well, why would they go? It's like, it's.
Yeah, I remember reading the list last year, and there was a lot of accessory companies there.
The Smoking Jacket is there. Southern Draw won't be there. So that's got to be we're done. Hey, if somebody wants to come by us again, come by us. But we're not going to PCA. I mean, was it last year or 2023 that they put out the letter basically saying we're up for sale, and nobody jumped at it.
I don't remember when that was. It was either like early last year, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep, they did release a couple new cigars this last year. They released the Evening Primrose and the Evening something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, it's interesting in that regard that those companies aren't. At the same point, Drew Estates is going to be there. I think Davidoff is going to be there, correct? Did I not see that? Maybe. Yeah, Davidoff's going to be there. Who's the big four? Drew Estates, Davidoff, Rocky. I think Rocky's going to be there.
Arturo Fuente's got to be the other one.
Yeah, and Arturo. Yeah. So, they're all going to be. Yeah, Arturo's going to be there. So, you've got your pillars. So. Right. They're all back. I'm interested. I'm glad we're not going. I'm definitely going to be interested to see how this all plays out for them, because the word around the industry is that it's going to be interesting. There's not smoking is definitely a lot more difficult in hotels. I think New Orleans has got a couple venues that are set up for smoking afterwards. But, if you can't go to a restaurant and have a cigar, and that's what I think a lot of those guys did in Vegas was plop down and have a cigar and have dinner or something like that. So it'll be, and then like I said last time, there's another group down there in New Orleans at the same exact time of like 1 million people. So that place is going to be packed.
It'll be
Oh,
interesting. I'm sure there'll be more cigars announced in the coming weeks here, so it'll
it's going to
be
be a good year.
lots to talk about.
Yeah. And then Sunday, Teddy had on Sheldon from Black Star Line. It was a good show. Interesting to sort of hear some of Eric's backstory without having Eric present. But it was definitely interesting to hear some of the feedback and the intricacies of Black Star Line and what's going on with them.
Yeah.
So, and Sheldon will be a regular co-host for Sundays. I don't know if he'll be. I think Teddy's out of town this weekend, so I don't know if there'll be a show this weekend or not.
Yeah, he said he was going to be out of town.
So, but
we'll be
anything
back
else?
next Tuesday.
Absolutely. What do you think of this cigar?
It's a nice, smooth cigar. The kind of the sweetness of the tip has worn off a little bit. I'm not tasting that so much anymore. It was pretty prominent at the beginning. But it's a nice, smooth, pretty mellow cigar, I would say.
Yeah. It's definitely smooth. It definitely fits in the Drew Estates line. I mean, if I didn't know where it came from, I'd go, this is a Drew Estates cigar. There's no doubt about it. The retro's nice. I didn't smoke it thinking about or trying to review it. I just was sort of smoking it to enjoy it and see how it was. We both got a couple more.
Burn line is pretty good. And I just got phenomenal. Mine delivered less than a week ago.
Yeah.
And it's burning really well.
Yeah. I mean, I've touched mine up because I found the more that we do these, the more I realize, oh shit, I'm talking and not smoking. So I had to relight it, touch it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's my fault. It's not the fault of
I haven't had any touch ups on mine at all. Yeah, it's got kind of a coffee with milk kind of vibe to it for me.
Yes. It's definitely very mild. I would say strength wise a 2 maybe. I don't think it's got much punch whatsoever, so no. I definitely could see it fitting into the Deadwood line, but we'll see what happens. Yeah. So I think that's about it, unless you got anything else you want to hit out of the ballpark.
I think we covered everything we had on our agenda.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get things worked out for the next podcast. We can go live on YouTube. It's a little bit more tech intense than what Marty and I were expecting. We were monkeying around with it a little bit earlier, but we should be able to get that worked out.
We'll get there.
And then, and by next Tuesday, March Madness will be in full swing. So we'll be able to talk about some basketball and we'll be able to talk about some other things. So I highly recommend if you can go out and pick up a Freestyle Live Pack. I know there's some still available at quite a few different websites. Go out, grab yourself one. If you're a fan of Drew Estates, if you're not, then go out and grab yourself one anyways. So, but I'll say good night. Thanks for joining us, Marty.
All right. Good night, everyone. Good luck with your brackets.
Absolutely. Bracket busters are coming, so get ready. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.